Okay, so question number 1 on conservation of mass, page 37 from the workbook. Question 1 then, it's asking us to look at a reaction between magnesium and oxygen to produce magnesium oxide. It's telling us there's 12 grams in the initial splurge to the question, but for the first question that's actually not required, it's asking us to just identify which of the equations is correctly balanced. So we've got various combinations of formulae and balancings, etc. So what we can notice is that the mg's in the 4 equations are all mg singular, which is correct in each case. They've also got the formula of the magnesium oxide correct. So magnesium oxide has got the formula MgO, and that is correct in each of the 4 examples. The problem is that in one of the examples, the formula of the oxygen is just O with not a 2 after it, and oxygen is a diatomic element. And so whenever oxygen exists by itself in an equation, then we always have to have O2. So this one is incorrect in that first instance, so it's not that one. Which then means all we have to do is essentially add up all of the relevant substances in the equation to see which one is balanced. So if we go to the bottom left one first of all, we can see that in this equation here there is 1 magnesium, and in this part of the equation here there are 2 magnesiums on the right hand side of the equation, so that's obviously incorrectly balanced. If we then look to the top right example, there are 2 magnesiums here and 2 magnesiums there, so that could be correct. There are 2 oxygens here, and there are also 2 oxygens here, because obviously the magnesium oxide has been multiplied by the 2 just before the MgO. So in that example there are 2 magnesiums on the left, 2 oxygens on the right as well. So that is okay. But just to quickly identify why the 4th one is incorrect, we can see that there are 2 oxygens here, but only 1 oxygen on this side of the equation. So that one is incorrect, and indeed that one is correct. So to get to question 1.2 then, we've got this. The student has measured a mass of magnesium oxide being produced, and the resultant mass was 20 grams. Calculate the mass of oxygen that has reacted with the magnesium. So we can see from the balanced equation, so we know which one is correct, that a certain mass of magnesium will react with a certain mass of oxygen to produce a certain mass of magnesium oxide in a correctly balanced equation. We know that we must conserve mass, the point of this question, and so we know that if we have done a reaction whereby the mass of the product was 20 grams, as it says in the question, the start of the question, if you remember, we had 12 grams of magnesium, so we know that if we have 12 grams of magnesium, then the mass of oxygen that must have combined with is a relatively straightforward mathematical solve, and we know that whatever must have added to 12 must have been, essentially let's write it out fully, 20 minus 12, that gives us mass of oxygen of 8 grams, signifying that whatever we have on the left hand side of the equation we must have on the right hand side of the equation, so 12 add 8 being 20, and again further evidence that we must have a correctly balanced equation in that first question there.